Okay, I was making the video. I realized I didn't do something from the very beginning. Anyhow, I'm going to assume that if you're watching this and you got an XFX or an FM3 or FM9 that you've already, plugged it in, turned it on, ran through some presets, and then now want to go do some of your own presets. I mean, of course, you can take some of the factory presets and then mess with them, change them however you want. But this is going from a completely empty slot and then starting from scratch. Alright, in this video we're going to go through making a preset on the XFX3. This could also be used for FM9 and FM3 because they're pretty much all the same. Okay, so what you're going to see here, first of all, you have this grid, and this is an empty preset here. I'll start from scratch. What you want to do first is the signal goes from basically left to right. If you got a really long one, then you can make it go jump it back over with these little arrow thingies. But anyhow, we're just gonna go basic preset. So here we go. So I'm just gonna click on that one. When you're using Axe Edit here, a lot of times there's a lot of different ways you can do stuff. So I'm just gonna show you the way I do it. Sometimes there's other things, like you can click up here, Quick Build. You can pick what you want right there, or you can just right click that box. I'm gonna do that. And I'm going to go input, and I'm going to go input 1, and I'm going to go all the way over to here, and I'm going to put an output 1, and now right now they're not connected, nothing. So when I click on the box there, on the block is what they call it, and then that little, you'll see a little 0 there, right there beside it. I click on it, now it's going to allow me to pick what I want it to connect it to. So if I want to connect it to this grid up here, then I would click that, but I don't, so I want to connect it all the way down here at the end, and it computes it for a second. Boom, there it is. So now we actually have a signal going all the way through. That's just a regular guitar DI, and that's it. See you guys. No, I'm just kidding. If you want to stop right there, you can. So okay, so let's put somewhere. You can put things anywhere you want. Basically on this grid, you can kind of move them around too if you want later. I'll just usually pick somewhere here right there. I'm going to put amp. So right click, go to amp block 1. If you got the FM3, I think that's all you get to choose. FM9 and FM or XFX, you can actually have 2 amp blocks, so we'll go amp block, and then we're going to follow it with a cab. So right click on it, pick a cab block 1. Now should be able to hear something. And that has by default picked me this one, probably because I've had some kind of setting there, but anyhow, let's go. Basically, these blocks, if you want to think of them as it's like it's a drawer for your pedals, a closet or a room or whatever. And then from there, then you pick which device. So first of all, I'm going to go here. I like to use my own IRs, so it just makes it easier here. By the way, here's a little tip too. If you want to pick through your IRs, I'm going through the user 1 category. I already know where mine's at. It's like user 2, so I just highlight that. Here, let's click here. If I highlight right there that number, just click on it once, and I can use my scroll on my mouse. Go to 2. See, scrolled up. There it is. Boom. That's the IR I'm going to use. That is a York Audio. It's a impulse response of a Marshall 412 with greenback M25 speakers, and the Sennheiser vintage microphone in position 1. Now I'm going to go to the amp, and let's go, this is the JMP1, isn't it? Yeah, I want to leave it there. Let's see, how about some reverb? That sounds kind of dry. Right click, go down, and reverb. And I know already off checking them out, I like, or just sitting here in the room when I'm setting this up, it's for me just to hear on my monitors. So I like to hear a, where's it at? Gold plate that's similar. I think it was called London plate. Over here somewhere. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, that's a lot of reverb. I'm going to drop that down a little bit. You can click in the box and then type it in. I'm just going to go, let's choose something. I don't know, let's go down to, let's screw it. Let's go down like backspace. I'm going to 1.5 seconds. How about that? I think that's better. Yep. That'll work. I'll go back over here to the amp. And I didn't show you that, but you can choose. So, and on the reverb, I should have showed you that too. But anyhow, so here's the it highlights the one I'm on right now. That's the JMP1 preamp. It has a built-in power amp, by the way. It's supposed to be some kind of a generic Marshall power amp, whatever. So you can choose any of these amps of the. See, currently on this version, I'm on version 23.05, I think it is. 320 different amps. It's a little deceiving because we're on the JMP preamp right there. See, on that one there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now all the amps aren't that way, but this specific preamp actually has 4 channels and there's a bass shift. So he did every one of them separate. It'd be nice if they was all on one amp and you just click a button or something, but anyhow, that's the way it is. So a little deceiving when you say there's 300 and some amps. There's really not that many. There still is a ton of them, but anyhow, that's that. And if you go to the reverb again, like you click down here, and this is where you click what type it is. This is basically, these aren't presets. These are actual different reverbs. Same thing with the amps. So you have like 77 different reverbs to choose from. You think of those as like an individual pedal or a rack. And that's that. So we'll leave that one there. And we'll go, let me reach over here and type in. I'm on scene 1 right here, so we're just going to leave that as scene 1, and I'm going to call that, I don't know, chunky. How's that work? Chunky. Okay, that's what I named it, and let's go ahead and name the preset too while we're at it, in case we lose it somehow or something. We'll just name this YouTube. And I'm going to go ahead and over here, and I'm going to click save. So now everything's saved. So if I turned it off, turn it back on, we'd still have it. Okay, so that's simple, about as simple as you can get. And of course, then you can go there and adjust your gain and your tone stack and all that stuff. And we won't get involved in that right now. So people say this is really hard to use. I mean, and done a lot of talking. It's been 8 minutes so far in here. Not hard. Now if you was going to use the front panel, yeah, that'd be a little bit trickier. It's not like totally undoable, but if you got a computer, any kind of computer, just with a USB port on it, why not? This is so much easier. So that's how you do it. You make your input, your output, you put your cable, that's what those lines are, you call them shunts, and hook it all up, and there we go. Nothing to it. Now I'll say, oh, how about let's do a we got a chunky tone on. Let's do on scene 2 clean. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just, before I forget, name it clean. Okay, And since we already got that JMP1 on there, let's find the JMP1 amp that is. Okay, and here's one of the main reasons I want to do this video, kind of show this for some new guys too. You can help you on this. When I went to go to scene 2, and I'm going to change this amp. This amp 1 has actually 4 channels here, A, B, C, and D. You can think of it as 4 different amps if you want, or 4 different variations of the same amp. So I'm going to make sure when I go to scene 2 that I'm not on A, because remember we did scene 1. It's on channel A, the JMP1 OD1. So scene 2, it'll stay there, but until I change it, put it to amp number 2. This is where it can get kind of that part where your first time ever using Axe Effects can get confusing. So I'm going to put that on. Let's go clean 2. And that cab, I'm going to leave it on channel A. Leave it the same, and the reverb also on channel A. So what I'm doing there, you have to pay attention. Each one of these blocks has 4 channels. So you have to always remember, if you're switching scenes, make sure that your block here is going to what you actually want it to be. That can get kind of confusing. Like sometimes you can go, if you're using, especially if you're using, say, the same amp model, but you're just doing different settings, that can get confusing a bit. So you have to make sure you're paying attention to that. So let's see what we got here for clean. A little bit kind of quiet there, isn't it? Let's so if you notice this, whenever you're on one of these pages here and you're switching back and forth between the scenes, so I'm on scene 2, I'm going to go to scene 1, you'll stay on that same page so you can see like kind of the difference. So like right here on minus 12 dB on the output, minus 12 dB, I'm going to go on that clean, let's boost that up to about, let's just type it in here. Negative 8.0. How's that go? Could go up a little bit more, but we'll mess with that later. Okay, how about let's put a right click on that and put a chorus on there. Chorus 1. Okay, what can we choose here? You got all these to choose from. For some reason, when there's only so many things you're choosing from, it'll be a little pop-up window like this. And if you can notice like difference on the amp, when you click the same thing, it brings up a whole other window. I guess when it has so many of them and then more, then it actually brings up this bigger window. So anyhow, when there's not as many, you'll get this. Let's just go, I don't know, analog mono chorus. Let's see what that sounds like. Okay, so I've been talking, noodling, all this stuff, and here we are, not even almost 15 minutes in, and I can hit Save right there, and now I got a simple preset. And if you notice there, when I'm on scene 1, that chorus went off. Okay, if I wanted it on, I would just unclick the bypass, but that's how I want it. So in that scene, I guess I talk about how scenes work. That's why some people say XFX is hard to use. It's not really hard to use, it just does so much. I can do. So not hard, just a lot of different stuff. You got to realize it can do anything, and there's sometimes there's lots of different ways you can do stuff too. So I mean, just even with the editor here, like I said, there's different ways you can get to different things, sort of, sometimes. So it's hard. It's like last video I did, I was showing some plexi tones, stuff like that, and I had some guy commented something on a forum I posted it to that was too long and whatever, so whatever, man. It's like I didn't get to the point to show you how to use it. It's like, it's a hard video to make, and that's what I'm kind of doing here. This is a very hard video to make because there's just so much you could do to go over every little detail. I mean, I could sit there and talk for an hour and a half before I even did anything about it. So, but anyhow, so try to do the little smallest basic things I can right here. If anybody has any questions, put them down there in the comments, and if you like and subscribe, I'll maybe do another video and show you if I can. I'm not gonna say I'm an expert at it. I've had mine now for 2.5 years, a little more than 2.5 years. So, and I'm not a big time effect guy. So all them guys I have, they're all this grid full of all kinds of effects and stuff. I'm not the guy to ask questions on that. But yeah, pretty much your basic stuff, and then messing with the amps and getting it under the hood on those. I guess I know more about that than probably, or I guess I know more than everybody else. But that's where I've put most of my time in. Put it that way. So here it is on a scene. I got scene 1, I got scene 2, and if you see when I switch the scenes, it'll scene 2 was a clean channel, so I wanted the chorus on, and then on scene 1 I didn't want that chorus on, so everything else stays on. So if you wanted to change it, whether something's on or off, you just click the bypass on or off, and save it. The other thing is, could be another little thing for beginners too. You want to pay attention when you do hit bypass. It'll always be right here. It says bypass mode through. So if I have a pedal on my rig here, my signal going through, and I'm switching over to my dirty channel, I want that signal to go through that chorus into that amp, right? So I want to make sure that's on through. There's other scenarios where you want that. You can change it, of course, from mute, okay, or to mute only the output. And see what else we got. Mute and through. Some of them depends on what block you're on. It'll tell you what gives you the options of what you can do. Like, see, you can hear this reverb was quite a bit more. You can mute effects in, effects out, mute in, mute out, through. Some of them you also see there will be a left and right input select. That's depending on, again, how somebody to try to show you how to use the XFX in like a real quick period of time. It's not going to happen. That don't mean that it's not a good unit, and it's, if you want to put your time in, you're going to have the best amp modeler and effects processor in the world. So that's up to you. If you want to put the time in, you want to figure it all out and enjoy the benefits of it. Okay, if not, if it's too hard for you, then you can go with one of the other units that are easier, I guess, and then your tone will decline. But it's your choice. To me, it hasn't been that hard and complicated to use. I come from the 80s using rack gear and stuff like that. So when I first got the XFX and I didn't mess with the editor yet, just on the front panel, it seemed kind of familiar, I guess, a little bit, but way more than what those things even had back then. So the editor is the way to go. I wouldn't recommend anybody getting one of these, whether it's the FM3 or the FM9, and not using an editor. Maybe once you get familiar with that, if you want to, and you're in a live situation, yeah, I would say you probably want to, mess around with that a little bit so you can kind of figure things out if you had to, but there's other workarounds that you can do some things there where maybe you would never have to do that, but anyhow, that's up to you. But in my scenario, I'm not right now currently playing out, so I'm just sitting there in my little basement room messing around and doing recording and stuff, so this works for me. So there you have it. Hopefully I did too. That's about 20-minute video. Didn't really show you much, but that's I guess this will be learning the Fractal 101. See you next time.